Good.
Beware of false prophets, the Lord said in Matthew 7:15. He says they come to you in sheep's clothing, but inwardly they're ravenous wolves. King James says, beware of false prophets which come to you in sheep's clothing, but inwardly they are raving wolves. Raving wolves. There's people out there that will offer you a good deal. There's an ad that's surrounded some of the things that I look at, has to do with your Social Security check. They want you to sign your Social Security check over to them for one amount of money. This is how banks, this is how companies will get out from under the debt of owing something and paying for a long time. They'll just make one big payment and get it done with. It's kind of like buying a car, and then at midway, see, when you buy a car, if you go the full term, you pay interest plus the whole bill, which is a lot more money. Well, if you can pay it off in the middle, you can save all that extra money. And this is the ideal of what companies do to get out from under the debt of paying a full term of retirement to some of its people. This union where my pastor works for, or used to work for, they're doing that. So they're going to court, filing bankruptcy. They're only going to get halfway. Only going to have to pay half of what they ordinarily would have. But anyways, these are the things and the tricks that people do. They're not for your benefit. Now, could this company survive if they paid what they said? More than likely, it's a huge company, But these are legal term loopholes which they try to get through, and this is what I'm saying. There's not everybody that says Lord, Lord is going to make it into the kingdom of heaven. You know what I mean? Now, everybody that says they are of a godly nature doesn't mean they are of a godly nature. They just might be trying to take you for a ride. You know what I mean? One of the marks of a con artist and mass murderers like Ted Bundy, they have such a nice personality up front, disposition to con you in. You know what? When we go fishing, we offer that fish something enticing to the fish. We don't go put a rock on the end of the line and throw it out in the water. We don't put something on there that is greater and meaner. You don't hook your you don't put a shark on the end of your with teeth like this. Don't tie a shark on the end of your line, man. You put something on there that is enticing to that fish, and he comes up and you got him. And this is just what the kind of tricks that the devil uses. He's never changed his strategy. He's still doing this. People that we elect, that we put into office in our government, use these same kind of tricks to get into office. That's why it's shocking when we find somebody like Donald Trump, who is straightforward and honest about everything that he's doing. Because you're not being a nice person like these other people. You're saying that. Well, listen to this. Remember Obama. All the promises he's made, and everything that he's done can be swiped away with an ink pen. Can be swiped away in one day with an ink pen. And you say, what about Obamacare? Obamacare was Hillary Clinton's idea. she tried to get that thing pushed through back when her and Bill was president. Well, she was. Bill was just along for the ride. But these are wolves in sheep's clothing. They had some shady deal in Benghazi, and it fell through, and she couldn't send help because the people there in the consulate, those 4 people there that were killed, they knew what was going on with that shady deal, and they would expose her. That's why she held back help. There was people that could have helped a little over an hour away, and it went on for 9 hours. There was help less than 2 hours away from that consulate. Yes, she elected. They got her name on the paper. The reason why they haven't filed legal charges against her is because Obama would pardon her the minute they filed the charges. Okay, because he would go down with her. She's going to sign a confession, but it's going to be right after Trump is elected. Big guy, little guy. You remember that? Big guy, little guy. And they both will be looking for her confession. Okay, now I want to show you this, that this is a method that the devil uses, okay? This is a method that the devil uses, the wolf in the sheep clothing thing, to con people, to lure them in. Our media today is using this same method to control the people of the United States. One of the things that they do in a communist country is they will gain the media on their side. They will promise them things. They will give them financial favors. They'll do whatever it takes to get things in place like that. Now, this country is in bad shape. It's going to take a lot of cleaning up. There are so many crooked people out there that are in cahoots with the government that it's almost got the net complete. And this is going to be a hard thing. It's not going to be something easy. And I'm going to tell you something, man. I think Trump, his whole time he's in there, his first 2 years are going to be the worst. And then after that, we are allowed to vote and get all those crooked congressmen and senators out of the offices that they're in, that is helping the media and these people that are in cahoots with them and their money's paying them favors and things like that. People are going to have to vote them people out. You know what? The GOP is just going to disappear. The Lord showed me one time in a vision. My wife and I both, we saw it, that the GOP was going to fall. And right before our eyes today, we can see this coming to pass. And it's because they are wolves in sheep clothing. Listen, this country still belongs to God. This is still God's country. And this is still something God is protecting. These things you're seeing coming to pass is what God is doing. God is going to bring a revival in this land. The last days revival. Joel chapter 2 is what God is bringing with this thing. So we saw that the Bible says, Matthew 7:15, beware of the false prophets. Like we read there a while ago, which come to you in sheep's clothing, but inwardly they are ravaging wolves. Now look what it says right here in Luke 13. Yeah, Luke 13:31, starting 31. It says, the same day there came certain Pharisees saying to Jesus. Now listen, this is not a new thing. It's like I'm saying, this is not a new thing. The devil uses this trick all the time. He used it with Eve in the garden. And this is, you know what, if he can make an appeal to people, they'll give up their very soul that they can have something in their hands. With Cain and Abel. With Cain and Abel, Abel was in not Cain and Abel, it was Esau and Jacob. With Esau and Jacob, Esau had a need. He was hungry. And he saw the good food that Jacob had, and he sold his birthright for a dish of food. One dish of food. This is the same trick the devil uses today to get people to cave in. And it wasn't necessarily the devil that day, but this is how the devil uses the trickery. And you know what the name Jacob means? Rascal, or one who is not honest. And so it was the devil moving in his heart to get those things done. But Esau sold his birthright. Same thing, man, today that we're seeing. The devil knows that men have this weakness, and he uses it against us all the time. It looks like after a while we would learn, doesn't it? But no, we go through one battle, turn right around and go through another one after just losing that one. So the Pharisees came and saying to Jesus, he says, "Get thee out and depart, for Herod will kill." He is the ruler of that day. And verse 32, and he said unto them, "Go ye and tell that fox, behold, I cast out devils, and I do cures today and tomorrow, and the third day I shall be perfected." Of course, he was talking about his crucifixion. But I want you to pay attention to what he said right here. Fox. A fox is the chiefest of those wild, wolf-like animals. A fox is known for its cunning. It's known for its ability to trap, to get into place, prey. We have stories about this. We have fairy book stories and stories without end about how the fox is so intelligent. Who knows? Who've heard the story about the Fox and the Hound Dog that Disney just came up with here a few years back. But now listen to this. I want to read you a little skit here from a report on online here. I'm going to try to tell you where I'm getting this at. Running with the Wolves, it's called. Wolf Information and Awareness Center. Wolf Behavior Part 1. And I'll try to leave a link on here where you can get this information. And you go down about halfway to this, about a third of the way, and this is what you'll read. And the heading is Intellect. That is the intellect of a wolf. It says, wolves are extremely intelligent beings. They're not beings, they're animals. But this is just so you can tell that, you know, how they're having respect for the intelligence of the dog. Having great curiosity, the ability to learn quickly, and the full range of emotions people like to attribute to humans alone. It is documented that wolves have a physical brain the size from 1/6 to 1/3 larger than domestic canines. Also documented are wolves' ability to tread through standing water to mask their scent, and opening doors by turning of the doorknob after having watched the humans doing it. In the wild, wolves develop complex hunting strategies in order to chase down and capture prey as a group. And we've all probably seen that on TV. Wolves are very curious creatures who will inspect and play with unusual items. This ability to find out more about things serves them well in their ability to track prey animals. Now, the thing that I want to say here is that I saw a documentation on TV where a female wolf will go out and attract a male dog, and she will lead him back to the pack so that they can attack him and kill him, and dinner is served. And this is the strategy. This is the intent. You know, with people like with Ted Bundy, who were so nice to people that they were thinking, no way this man will ever hurt me. You know, and because they seek after your need, they seek after to fill a need. You know what? This is the same way that Obama won the presidency. You remember the Hurricane Sandy, how it went up through there, and how it tore up all those places, and the media, they allowed Obama to look pitiful so that it would help him win the presidency that year. That was about almost 4 years ago, when this hurricane took place, right before the election time, and one of the most devastating hurricanes. And you know what? I have never heard the media talk about anything, how he has helped any of those people. As a matter of fact, the last I heard, about a year and a half ago, the lady that he stood there, took that picture with, she was still without a home. She had not been helped to this day. Now, if that's spread around, he'll go help her, because it's almost election time again. You know, that he wants to keep the liberals in control. So it's all about keeping power with him. When he first came on the scene, I wrote a column on Facebook called Obama's Trojan Horse. That's what it was called, Obama's Trojan Horse. And that's exactly what his presidency has been. It has been nothing but a Trojan horse presidency. He has got absolutely nothing done. This Obamacare thing has driven up our health care double. To this day, we are burdened with things that we don't need. We have to pay bills that skyrocketed because of the idiotic way that he pushed that through. Now, yes, I agree there should be something done with health care, but not that. Not that. And you know what? We need somebody that will look us straight forward in the face and say to those who need be, you are fired. Someone that we know that is not a wolf in sheep clothing. But then again, you know what? The only one that can help us in a reality of the things that we really need is Christ Himself. Christ Himself. He is the one that we should look to in our everyday decisions of what we should be voting for. Alright, God bless you. Thank you for joining me. We'll see you again next time, right here, Cross in the Middle Ministry.